Hey there in YouTube land, and what I'm here to talk to you guys today about are some of my favorite TV shows of all time. And I've decided to take, well, I normally do a lot of British stuff. I decided this time I'm going to exclude the British stuff that will just overrun the what I watch. But we're going to look at some North American stuff over the years, some shows that I really like, and hopefully find some shows that you like too, or maybe some shows you forgot about and that you'll revisit once you watch this video, which is probably going to be 2 videos actually. And or maybe a series that you haven't seen yet and you want to discover. So hopefully we can do that. Either find something that you can discover or rediscover. Not all the stuff's on Netflix, so you may actually have to actually buy some of the stuff. It's amazing as that sounds. Can't hardly believe people do that nowadays, huh? First up is The Bionic Woman. This is the original Bionic Woman with Lindsay Wagner. It was an incredible series. Kind of like adventure. If you haven't seen Bionic Woman, basically you got Jamie Summers, who's in an accident. After this accident, basically she's given, she's given bionic parts, and she pretty much becomes an agent in this town for God, I can't remember the name of the agency now. Is it OSI or something like that? I think at least in the 3rd season it's OSI. It ran for 3 seasons. The first 2 seasons ran on one network. This 3rd season ran on another. There's some issues there. So, although this is tied into one of my other favorite shows, which I do not own any of, $6 Million Man, it's been really expensive to get, and it's usually out of when I go to buy it. The Bionic Woman was an amazing, really fun series. And as for the $6 Million Man, it was the first show that I ever saw on TV. And the first episode I ever watched was actually the one where Bigfoot rips off the arm of the $6 Million Man. Great childhood memory of mine, actually. This one actually had a bionic dog in the 3rd season. They went there, yeah. Another series that I really loved was Night Gallery. It's highly underrated, and I got to agree with Del Toro. This is one of the shows that people always talk about in the other Rod Serling show, but they never talk about this one, and I think it's a real shame because this has some great episodes. I'm trying to see if any of them are. I've like seen the big ones that are on here. I like the Biopredicted Earthquakes. Very dark one that, and the cool things that they'd have different episodes of different stuff in here. There'd be like even comedy skits and stuff like that. And some people, I think, because of some of the comedy skits in that, would kind of downplay the importance of the series. But let me tell you this: the Caterpillar is one of the creepiest fucking episodes you're ever going to see of anything. I swear there. But really, the Caterpillar. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Don't look it up if you can. Check it out. Check it out. Next up is a series that was so good that basically it was like watching a movie every week. And you see some shows like that now, but this was like the original show to actually get this slick and have this high production value. And when the box set came out, even though they didn't have a lot of features on them, they spent almost the entirety of their budget in these box sets here in making sure that every one of the original songs was on the where it was in the sets. And if you know the music that's on this, then you know that was no small task. And that's the reason Miami Vice took a long time to come out. And Miami Vice, of course, is about Croc and Tubbs, 2 vice cops working in, well, Miami. And Crockett is just kind of the overly cool guy that has an alligator, lives on a boat, and Tubbs comes to the series in search of his brother's killer, and it ends in Miami, and they end up becoming partners. It's a really good show. There's some big shocks in this series. There is a main cast member, I think, that does get killed off, and it's a really surprising one. And there's some dark stuff, some really cool stuff. The soundtrack on this is fantastic. A lot of great guest stars would come on this. Phil Collins would be on this. Liam Neeson would do an episode of this. There'd just be a lot of great people. As you go through, you're going to see so many people that you recognize now. And you're going to hear songs that will stick in your head forever. This is pure 80s gold. And yes, I did dress like Sonny Crockett. So, just saying. As horrible as that may seem now, I did. Thriller. It's a fantastic series. I've talked about it a lot on here. Boris Karloff hosted this series here, and so many great guest stars. Of course, this is one Stephen King called the the most frightening series of all time, and it is a fantastic show. There are some fantastic episodes on this here. It is one of the must-haves in everybody's collection. If you don't have thriller in your, if you like TV at all, if you like horror at all, if you just like good acting, I don't care. Thriller belongs in your collection. It's one that everybody should have. And something everybody should have, The Twilight Zone. Unfortunately, so far I've only been able to find the definitive edition, Season 1. I do need to get the rest of these. I know there's a Blu-ray edition as well. I'm not sure if I want to get the Blu-ray edition or complete my DVD edition, because I got to say the Blu-ray edition, these just look better in boxes. I don't know. And there's no more features, so I'm not sure. Next up, the series I personally love a lot, and gets a lot of flack, but Charlie's Angels I found extremely fun. I was so excited to actually get the complete series of Charlie's Angels. It's just one of those shows that I grew up with watching, and it was really cool to see a show where the girls aren't kind of like the victims. They're the ones that are saving everybody, and that was just really cool. My early, I guess, pro-feminist side, I guess, was really like that. And my guy side really liked it. There were really cute girls on TV. Hawaii Five-0, the original series, incredible series. This is the original kick-ass guy here. This is the original 24 guy. He would fight terrorists, fight Wolfat, and basically just do all kinds of really cool stuff. Very violent show. And I got a lot of flack for its violence early on, but it's just a really cool show. The cast has great chemistry, and he shoots a lot of people. He shoots them dead. Next up is Get Smart, a really funny series by Mel Brooks and Buck Henry, two genius creative minds. And if you guys don't know who Buck Henry is, you should really check him out. He was a great writer back in the day. Get Smart stars Don Adams and Barbara Feldon, and really, really love this show. There's a lot of guest stars that would come on this one here. This season here, for instance, had Johnny Carson, Carol Burnett, Joey Bishop, and Don Rickles. Please, if you don't know who Joey Bishop or Don Rickles is, look it up, because important people in comedy history. Don Adams, who most people here will probably know as the voice of Inspector Gadget, played the character of Agent 86, Maxwell Smart, who is an extremely good agent, but he's not the brightest guy at all times, and he can be a little bit klutzy. I was about to do one of his catchphrases, but I'm not going to do it because I would not do it justice. When Fred Dryer, a football player, got injured, he had to take a career change, and it will be this kind of, again, another uber violent show from the 80s, and you can tell it's the 80s. There's that 80s hair that Dee Dee McCall has. It's Hunter, and Hunter was originally going to be, well, can you tell what movie character this was originally going to be taken from? Well, yeah, Dirty Harry. Very kind of cool guy, very violent, does things his way. Hunter was just one of those shows that you could sit down and watch and be really happy. The 80s was a violent time for these crime shows. There's no two ways about it. They didn't pull any punches. None of these things got softer and stuff like that. And, we got 30-something and all that crap. But in the 80s, yeah, we didn't play that way. 70s, same. Starsky and Hutch, great stuff. There's some really great episodes. Some of these later on become unintentionally funny episodes. But early on, this show was amazing. The chemistry between the leads, actually the three leads, because Huggy Bear is almost like a third lead. He's in so many episodes, and he has such an important role. Of course, Huggy Bear is played by the great Antonio Fargas, and this series is fantastic. The episode where he gets doped up on heroin, yeah, dark, extremely cool episode. Married with Children, one of the great dysfunctional comedies of all time. Just a great show that showed families, not every family had to be the Cosby family, and you didn't have to feel bad about that. It's okay to have a family that seems dysfunctional and is dysfunctional and still manages to function. Next up is Captain Power. I just really like this series. It only ran for one season. It got stuck as being one of those shows that basically didn't come in between like really dark and kids tie line, and so it got stuck in between there. But great series, dark ending. Love to have seen the second season. There's a lot of really great stuff coming up. This is an amazing set. If you ever get a chance to get this set, I highly recommend it. Not only is the show good, but there are some amazing features on this one here. This one is Skeleton Warriors, were put by the same company, VSC, and they did a great job with it. Really cool sci-fi show. Next up is one that I'm guessing a lot of people won't know, but Canadian, I got to represent here, one of the great Canadian shows, Due South. Due South is stars Paul Gross, who would star in another one of my favorite Canadian series, The Slings and Arrows. That's another one you should check out. Unfortunately, I don't have it, but if you guys get a chance to see it, really check it out, especially if you're a Shakespeare fan or an acting fan. I am both. Obviously, I spent a lot of time when I was younger acting and doing a lot of Shakespeare, so